Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi le 2 novembre. Le mot de passe, hopefully you did this with your flip video yesterday. J'ai peur. Aujourd'hui dans l'histoire, we do have a discussion, so we'll look at that in a minute. You have two different items that you're going to do for the singing frog story, La Grenouille qui chante. You're going to do your structure notes. You did this for Le Tigre qui parle, so hopefully this is a familiar idea to you, but we'll look at that slide together and I'll show you the video you can watch to see what I mean by that if you have any additional questions. And then you're also going to do a reading assessment. So because I have kind of a lot today, I think I'm going to take one thing off for tomorrow. So after you finish those, you have La Chanson, C'est l'Halloween, C'est l'Halloween, as well as some TPR. Again, hopefully you practiced that and used them before you did your flip video yesterday. And I put this twice. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. So demain, vendredi, I had originally said you were going to do this listening practice activity. I'll push this to next week. And that way you'll have a little extra time to do the things today because I gave you kind of a lot. So let's first look at aujourd'hui dans l'histoire. Okay. Aujourd'hui, c'est jeudi le 2 novembre, c'est l'anniversaire de Marie-Antoinette. Okay, l'anniversaire, is that a marriage anniversary, like we use the word anniversary en anglais? No, l'anniversaire is the literally anniversary of somebody's birth. Donc, l'anniversaire, c'est birthday en anglais. L'anniversaire de Marie-Antoinette. Elle est née, was born, en 1755 en Autriche. L'Autriche, Austria. Elle s'est mariée à l'âge de 15 ans. Avec son mari, le roi, king, Louis XVI, elle avait 4 enfants, children, 2 filles, girls, et 2 fils, sons. So filles can actually mean girls or daughters. So 2 filles, 2 daughters, et 2 fils, 2 sons. Donc, voilà Marie-Antoinette. There's a lot more to her story, of course, but these are just some basics. She was not born in France, although she spent a good deal of her life there. Elle s'est mariée à l'âge de 15 ans, so very young bride, avec son mari, le roi, Louis XVI. She had 4 enfants, 2 filles et 2 fils. Donc, où est-ce que Marie-Antoinette est née? Où est-ce qu'elle est née? Comment s'appelait le mari de Marie-Antoinette? Okay, donc numéro 1 et numéro 2, you'll answer those in our discussion aujourd'hui. Here is the slide that will explain your structure notes for La Grenouille qui aime chanter. You're just making 3 little tables like this, 3 charts like this. In the first, the top left of the chart, you're going to write elle a. Then you're going to write the English translation for that, she has. Then in the bottom right left, you're going to write the negative, elle n'a pas, she does not have. And then you're going to write an example sentence from the story. So you could say, elle a les yeux bruns. Now, some of those sentences from the story, instead of saying elle, they say her name, Félicia. So if you use Félicia a les yeux bruns, totally fine. Okay, now you're going to do 2 more charts just like this. You're going to copy this one down. Then you're going to make a chart for LM. So that structure will go in this top left box. Then you'll translate it. Then you'll write it in the negative. Then you'll find an example of it from the story. Same deal with quand. You'll make another new chart. Now quand, it's not a verb. It's not a structure that has a subject and a verb like the other 2 do. So for negatif, you can't make quand negative. So just put an X through that when you don't use it. But you can translate it and you can find an example of where it's used in the story. So I want you to do that, those 3 boxes for quand. And then just so that we are clear on where these go into your additional notes section in your cahier, and here is a review of how your cahier should be set up. And then lastly, we have this reading assessment. This will be a little bit of a longer assignment today. You are going to use this kind of final assessment for me to see how well you understood the story of La Grenouille qui aime chanter. So you're going to go to Schoology, and in our folder, our Cette Semaine folder for jeudi le 2 novembre. Reading assessment, La Grenouille qui aime chanter. You're going to be looking at two different versions of the story of La Grenouille. So these are, and actually not even the story, it's more just the character description. So these are two different versions of La Grenouille. They're not the same as Félicia. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at Niki Frogmenage and Tiger. These are our two frogs from two of my in-person classes last year. And you're going to compare and contrast them. So what color was Niki Frogmenage? What color was Tiger? What was the hair color, eye color? Are they big or small? What do they like to do? What do they love to do? What kind of pet do they have? What time do they go to bed and what time do they wake up? So then you're going to make, and this is where I saw the most difficulty last year, you're going to make two compare sentences. What do they have in common? And then you're going to make two contrast sentences. Now, in English, if we're making contrast and compare sentences, we might say, Nikki and Tiger have blue eyes. I don't know if that's the case. That's just an example. But we don't know how to use the plural quite yet, to say have instead of has blue eyes. So instead, we're going to say, Nikki has blue eyes. And Tiger has blue eyes also. So use A and OC to write those compare sentences, to tell me what they have in common. Then you're going to write three contrast sentences. These ones are a little bit easier. Nikki likes to blank, but Tiger likes to blank. Nikki goes to bed at such and such time. Tiger goes to bed at such and such time, etc. So make three contrast sentences with differences that you have in your chart up here, and two compare sentences with similarities that you have in your chart up here. Probably should go without saying, but just to be clear, these sentences should be en français. En français. Up here, if you answer in English, it doesn't really matter. This is just kind of showing me that you understand the items from up here, but your sentences need to be in French. Okay. Et voilà, that is it for your items today. Make sure you get on the meet between noon and 12:30 if you have any questions for me, or of course you can always just email. Merci. Au revoir tout le monde.